My friend, after the last video, I sat and read the comments for a long time. Some comments were short, just a few words of thanks, but there were also comments that moved me deeply. And I felt one thing very clearly. People weren't only watching a story, they were touching something very deep, a quiet respect for the monastic life, and an unspoken question for themselves. Because when they saw Venerable Ajahn Pichet carefully mending his old robe, many hearts suddenly softened. That robe isn't new. It isn't perfect in the way people expect, the right color, the right look. It's very old, torn in many places, patched again and again. And precisely because of that, it's hard to look away. Some people asked, he could accept a new robe, so why doesn't he? I used to wonder the same thing, until I heard that many people with sincere faith wanted to request that robe and were ready to offer him a new one, but he didn't change it. He vowed to keep using this very robe until it could no longer be used. My friend, just that one sentence feels like a bell striking our hearts. Because in ordinary life, we're so used to replacing things. A little old, replace it. A little scratched, throw it out. A little disappointing, look for something else. I'm not saying that's wrong, but sometimes that habit of it has to be new, it has to be better, wears us out without us even noticing. And Ajahn Pichet is the opposite. He chooses to stay with what's old, not because he's poor, not because no one would offer him anything, but because it's a reminder every day. The spiritual life doesn't grow by adding more, it grows by letting go. There's one detail that left people both stunned and deeply moved. They say Ajahn Pichet has been ordained for 16 years, Vasa, and lives a very simple, disciplined life. For many years, he has used only 3 sets of robes and has never replaced them. He doesn't even wear an inner vest, angsa. And for the past 13 years, he hasn't slept lying down, only sitting. My friend, when people heard that, they asked, is he punishing his body? Is it dangerous? How can anyone endure that? I want to answer slowly and carefully because I don't want to turn this into a kind of showing off hardship. Monastic life isn't a competition about who can suffer more. And in Buddhism, what matters most isn't the outer form, but the mind. Still, I understand why you ask, because for people like us, even one sleepless night can leave us exhausted, let alone 13 years without lying down. And maybe the deepest part of this isn't the body, but a very quiet choice to reduce comfort so the mind becomes less dependent. Not lying down doesn't mean hating the body. Not lying down doesn't mean chasing pain. It's a way of training the mind. When we don't keep running after what feels easy, we learn steadiness. And when the mind is steady, peace finally has a place to stand. They also say he walks barefoot everywhere. Even when he's injured, he simply wraps the wound with a bandage and keeps going. My friend, some people feel compassion reading that. Some feel deep respect. Some feel awakened. Because we live in a time where missing even a little comfort can make the mind restless. Facing even a small inconvenience can make us want to stop. But he keeps walking. Not because he doesn't feel pain, but because he holds something greater than pain. A vow. This walk for peace is his 10th long journey. In the past, he spent 2 years living in the cold Himalayan mountains, using only 3 robes to stay warm. And people ask, so how do the monks live on the road? What do they eat? Here's one thing that has been shared. They eat 1 meal a day and not after noon. This is also a practice taught in the Buddhist training, a way of restraining desire and learning simplicity. And there is something else I can say in the right spirit. Those footsteps are not searching for having enough. They walk in simplicity and with gratitude for whatever support comes through conditions. Sometimes it's a bottle of water. Sometimes a place to sit and wait out the rain. Sometimes just a greeting. And sometimes it's very little. But if you look closely, what they carry isn't a plan for comfort. What they carry is mindfulness and a heart that knows enough. One companion shared a moment I still remember. When they were indoors with a heater, Ajahn Pichet could rest comfortably while sitting. But when they slept outdoors, the companion said they felt immense compassion for him. He refused to use a tent and simply pulled his robe over his head while sleeping upright. My friend, that is the image of someone who doesn't chase comfort and yet doesn't create a tragedy. He simply lives faithfully to the practice he has chosen. And now, back to the robe, through the words shared by the group's senior monk, Bhikkhu Panakara. In the days preparing for a long pilgrimage of about 2,300 kilometers, the two brothers tried to dye the robe again, but it didn't work. Because within that robe, each patch is a different kind of cloth gathered from old robes of the Sangha, joined together and mended over many years. And also because yellow and orange are difficult colors to dye. My friend, maybe it's exactly in that imperfection that we see the meaning of letting go most clearly. In the spirit of Buddhism, letting go doesn't mean hating life or rejecting the world. Letting go means releasing attachment, releasing the habit of clinging to comfort, releasing the need for things to go our way, and releasing the belief that happiness only comes when we have more, newer, better. When the mind keeps gripping, it creates its own unrest. But when the mind knows how to release, life becomes lighter, more comfortable, more breathable. Ajahn Pichet's old robe, patched again and again, is a living image of that lesson. For a monk, robes are not just clothing. They are a reminder of the training, a life grounded in contentment, in knowing enough, and in wanting little. So when he refuses a new robe, even when people sincerely wish to offer one, it doesn't mean he looks down on their generosity. On the contrary, a practitioner honors wholesome intention, but he keeps the old robe to keep something greater, the simplicity, the vow not to chase comfort, and the steadiness of the heart. And maybe what moves people most is this. That robe isn't perfect, and the monastic life doesn't need to be perfect. It only needs to be true. Every patch is a reminder, I have lived through seasons of wind and rain. Every stitch is a return to mindfulness. Letting go here isn't about whether you have a new robe or not. It's about this. The mind is not pulled away by the need to change something just to satisfy craving. And if we bring this lesson into everyday life, the robe for each of us might be something else. An expectation, a need to be recognized, a habit of consuming to fill an empty place. And sometimes, if we simply reduce a little, we realize peace isn't far away. It begins with a moment of contentment and a breath that no longer clenches. My friend, if today you feel tired, if you feel you're lacking, if you keep thinking, I need one more thing to be okay, try pausing for just a moment and ask gently, could it be that what I need isn't more, but less? Less grasping, less comparing, less running away, so peace has room to enter. Because these quiet footsteps across America are not seeking fame, they are planting wholesome conditions, awakening sincere faith, and lighting the path of compassion and wisdom for all beings. And if this story touches you, I want to ask something small. What are you most curious about on this journey? The monk's life on the road? The meaning of the vow to never lie down? or the lesson of letting go through the old robe. Just leave a number, 1, 2, or 3, so I can know. Thank you for listening with a sincere heart. May you have a lifetime of peace and happiness. Namo Buddha.